Hey guys, welcome to my garage this evening. Tonight I'm working on the vacuum line on my intake manifold. So I'd like to walk you through replacing and rerouting all of your vacuum lines and also show you the common failure points. So of course the first common failure point is going to be in hoses. A bad hose is going to be very tough and will not be supple. So you can see right here, I cannot collapse this hose. And a good hose, you'll be able to squeeze and it should still be pliable. Now, of course, over time, these hoses, when they harden, they no longer seal properly, so while they look good and they look like they fit, they will leak because it does not seal. The second issue is going to be with your solenoids. Broken nipples here, very, very common. And of course you'll want to replace those. They're really cheap on eBay. You can pick one up for 10, 20 bucks maybe. And of course there are going to be two VRS solenoids. They're going to be in the back. There's going to be two EGR solenoids. That'll be these two right here. And depending on your year, you'll have a boost solenoid. And you'll also have a fuel pressure regulator. And a vent solenoid. So here we'll start tracing the vacuum lines. Now I've already started replacing these, so you can see that these are nice and supple vacuum lines. Now, if you go ahead and start replacing these, chances are you're going to go ahead and break the check valve here. This check valve only allows air to go one way, and that's, of course, the air is going to go into the intake manifold. So when you're looking at the check valve, it should have a direction showing which way the air is pointing to, and it should be going into the manifold. So make sure that if you do replace your check valve, that you align it appropriately. And the way you can verify is you can just blow in one end, and it should only allow air to flow one direction. And that direction, of course, again, into the intake manifold. So you blow here to your two vacuum chambers. Another very common failure point. These usually break off here in one of these four areas. If they do break, you can still run with one, or you can use any vacuum chamber for any vehicle really. You might not be able to use it in these positions, but you can always route the vacuum chamber outside of the intake manifold somewhere and still use them appropriately. So of course you go from the manifold, chamber 1, chamber 2, and then out to this link. I'm going to go ahead and turn this guy over. Alright. Here we're looking at the back side of the intake manifold. Now, from the chambers, it comes out right here. So you have this hard metal line. The vacuum line goes into a T. This T right here goes to the EGR, and then also to here to the VRS solenoids. So into the VRS solenoids, it goes to the VRS solenoid. This is number 2. You can see it routes to here, right there. And then, of course, to the vacuum chambers. And then VRS solenoid number 1 goes in the bottom, out on the top. Then that goes to the EGR. So you see this one goes here. Here's the EGR solenoids. So you have the EGR valve and the EGR vent. So it goes in, crosses over. This line right here goes all the way, I'll show you here, goes all the way here, and the EGR valve will be down on the bottom here, connects. And this is the vent that goes to the air box. So you'll trace this. It'll have a red dot on the metal line, or should. If it doesn't, it's going to be the leftmost line on the bottom here. And then out on this side, you'll see it has a red dot, and this will attach to the air box. Let me get that. So this will attach to the air box right here, and it's just a vent, and it makes sure that just clean air is flowing. The Purge solenoid valve here, it has a vacuum line running to the intake manifold. the intake manifold line will run all the way to the bottom, and then the top line will run down to the yellow hard line on the bottom here. If you do not see the yellow dot, it's going to be the rightmost hard metal line on the bottom, and that will come out the side where the red line was. Right here, that's going to be on the right side, and this line will just go to the canister. Alright, here's the front of the manifold. You have two solenoids here on the OBD2. If you have an older one, you'll be missing the bottom solenoid, which is the AGR boost solenoid. The top is the pressure regulator solenoid. Pressure regulator solenoid, it has two nipples here. This one on top goes for cruise control. If you do not have cruise control, you can cap it off. Bottom is for pressure regulator. So this line will go into the back of the top solenoid. And then from the pressure regulator to the forward port, and the filters on the front. Bottom solenoid is boost control, boost sensor. It has, let's see if I can turn this to show. You have nipple coming out, nipple coming up. Up goes to the solenoid. One that comes out goes to the number 6 runner. Vacuum hose right here. That'll get plugged in the front.